Okay, this project is called Fancy Heart. This is the first introduction to creating shapes in Illustrator. So I'm going to go a little faster on this project, but again, if you have any other questions, things are not working out right, give my attention. I can help you. It's a lot better helping you individually. So this is the project will look like when I finish, and I talk about this for a minute. This type of project, there's three different main projects. And this project is tutorial, and you're creating the exact same thing I'm showing you in the video because you're learning how to use Illustrator. The extension is you're going to create your own version of that tutorial, like showing you what you learned. The personal expression is kind of like more real world things where you have the requirements and maybe a direction of what you want to do, maybe a number of layers required. Then you have free reign to kind of create what you want to. Okay. So I can go back to Illustrator. And I actually like to go to modules. It's a little bit faster there. So then I can click on the first Illustrator file, which is Fancy Heart. Oh, assignment, sorry. This is the video I'm creating, and then click on this link here. It's going to take you to these two files, I'm sorry, and you can download both of those. Download all guys, and then download Fancy Heart. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is actually minimize everything. If you don't have Creative Cloud up here, or maybe you need to find it here, then let me know, and then I can help you with that. So open up Creative Cloud. If you don't see Illustrator, give my attention if it's not there. So click on Open. It's going to open Illustrator. What we're going to do is open up the file we just downloaded in Illustrator. So we're going to click on Open. I'll find all guides right here and click on Open. So when you first open Illustrator, there's some presets that we need to change. So make sure everything looks like this. You need to click on Workspace and change it to Essential Classic because there's different toolbars you need to see. Panel options, that needs to be medium. Click OK. Then your view, you need to have smart guides checked. Everything else should be turned off. But then guides, when you first open it, they should be like maybe unlocked. That means you can actually select them like this. But you need to choose guides here and lock those. So therefore they're locked. And now the guides are on the guide layers. You click on the drawing layer and that's where you're drawing. Click and hold this down. That gives you more tools. That's arc tool. So what we're going to do to start with, and you click on this thing and go to the middle here, the middle guide. Go from the anchor point straight to click on the F key to flip. That goes about right here to this guide intersection. Then click on that anchor point there and F key to flip. Again, this guide here, intersection. Now you can click on this direct selection tool, the white arrow tool. Click on that little anchor point, grab this come go up to right about here. You want to go too far. You don't want to go too low. You want to come right about here. That's good. And then, so instead of actually duplicating that, we can create the exact same. We're going to just deselect everything. Hold the shift key to select multiple things. So click here on all these different line segments. Now we're going to join them together. So join. Now they're all one object there. You can see I've just selected of it together. I need to actually now reflect that. So I select it, hold the Alt key down. Click on anchor point. It should be vertical, 90 degrees, and preview it so you make a copy. So I click on the selection tool, and I'll shift key down and select this other part. I need to bump the stroke up to 10 points. This should actually come to a point, so what you need to do is actually double click, right click on this, and click join. So now we have actually like it comes to a point. So click up here. Next thing you do is actually click on the swatches tool. CMY Create Red is what you need to grab. That's your foreground color. Then what we're going to do is actually grab a polygrid tool and hold the Alt key down and change your mouse and your drawing from center. This should be 550 and this height should be 550. And number 5 is dividers and the radial is 0. Okay, both of these need to be checked. So you can click OK. That gives you a target shape. Now what we're going to do is click Edit and Cut. I think the selection tool, which is the black arrow tool, click on the heart I just created, and then I draw from inside. You can see it's draw inside. And then click Edit and Paste in place. Okay, so it's right there. Then I need to click on Draw Normal, which is the third one here. and just deselect everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my little target. I'm sorry, my arrow that goes into my target. So that's just a line segment tool. So we're going to go from the center point out here. I hold that shift key out to create this straight line. About right here. Yes, about right here. So this needs to be rounded, so I'm going to click on the stroke and change it to cap to be rounded here. So then I'm going to click on another line here. I'm just going to go from like right here to where it says path, and I'm just going to undo a little bit. Okay. Instead of creating two of those, I click on the selection tool, and it's already selected. Now I click on edit, copy, and edit, paste in place, or paste in front. I'm sorry, paste in front. And that doesn't look like it did anything, but I click on, the selection tool and click on this and move it over, hold the shift key down to create on a straight line. And that should come out to right here. Now click on the line segment tool again, go from this anchor point right here to this one here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is actually click on the selection tool again. I need to select all of this. I'm just windowing all three of those. And I need to click on edit and I'm sorry, not edit, but right click on those and say, let's say join. Okay. And then I'm going to, I'm sorry, let's undo that for a minute. Undo join. Let's do this. So let's create these. Let's actually duplicate that. So click on copy and then edit, paste in front. Okay. And what I'm going to do is actually click on this layers. I need to actually grab there's two of these. So we're going to grab this one and hold the shift key down and grab this one. Okay. And I can click right click and say join because one of them is joined. Let's undo that for a minute. Yeah, that's right. Oh, those are joined. So maybe the bottom two. Shift and click on this one, and then maybe click on the join. We're trying to create. I'm sorry. We need to click on those, and then click on this bottom line. So those two, and this one here. So basically, I'm clicking on this line here. Click shift click and click on this one and this one. So the top three lines. And I click on file and join there. Okay. So now I'm clicking on those are all together now joined. I click on this line, held shift click and this line. And now what I can do is click on the object, blend and blend options. Then it should be changed to specified steps. This needs to be placed to 2. That's why I changed it to 2. Okay, it doesn't really do anything. I click on object here, blend and make, and that should be copied there. Okay. Now we can do is actually just copy. I just window out everything and reflect it based on Alt key and the center point right there. This needs to be horizontal and the angle is 0. Preview and say copy here. So maybe copy that. Selection tool again and deselect. Now again, just click on everything so that you have that line there and click on right click and say group now. So now everything is grouped. I click on the rotate tool now. Rotate, Alt key from the center point. So it should say anchor point there. This is going to be 330 right there. And 330. Then click OK. It should change that little, kind of like my arrows going to my target kind of thing. The next thing you're going to do is actually just that one layer. I'm going to create another here. A lot of times we're actually creating a sketch that we're going to use as kind of like a tracing kind of thing. So this one I'm just going to double click and call it image. I'm going to now file and place, and I need to go to find that fancy heart thing. So I'm going to click place here, and then I can just click place. It doesn't really matter where. And I click on the selection tool and click on this object, and I need to make it about right there. Then I can double click on the side, on that little layer here, click on the dim to 50%, click OK, and you can kind of see that's, if you need to move it around, that's right. It doesn't match up exactly, but as long as it's close, kind of thing is what you want. Okay. So now I'm going to go back down to drawing layer here. And so deselect everything out here. So it's not selected anymore. So then you need to just lock that layer so I can't really select anything. The last thing I do is click on the spiral tool. Click on the open area, then change it to the one on the right here. 50%, 50 points, 80%. Click OK. Now this one, click on this and then just move it around. Sorry, move around here. I'm just scrolling the wheel down so I can see that a little better. I'm actually going to put the drawing on top so I can see it a little better. So then I just actually make that the correct size. So I just make it. Again, we're going to do that a lot of times with like maybe your thumbnail sketches. So you take your rough layout and kind of like trace it, like take a picture of it and put it as a tracing. Because that's the reason why we do that, to give us actually somewhere to start and then make sure it fits there. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is choose another one. And this needs to be actually, click OK again. This needs to be brought down to 5 points. So give my selection tool. I click and move it around here. Then it just makes it the right size. Okay. That's why I'm using a little tracing there. Yes, and a little bit lower. Yeah, so you're trying to get it close there. The next thing, another one, you're going to do another spiral, but this one you need to click OK. The same settings, click OK, and this one needs to be brought down to 2 points, this row. Then again, the same thing, just drag it around to here, make it fit there. Just come up a little bit, come down a little bit, and then over a little bit. Yeah, right about there. So you can see these little things kind of cross right here. We're going to cut those off. So we're going to click on this one to start with. Underneath the eraser tool, I'm going to click on the scissor tool. And right here, it kind of crosses. So I'm going to hold the Alt key and then zoom into this a little bit so I can see it. And right here, you click on that where it says intersection. And I just trimmed it off. So now I'm going to click on the selection tool and grab that little thing that sticks off. And I'll just cut that and just hit the delete key. Now this one, same thing, scissor tool, and it comes right about here is where it crosses first. Now selection tool, and I click on this and it sticks out here and delete that. And I come up to about like this one here. And what to do is actually click on the scissor tool again. It comes about right here is where it crosses. I click on the intersection. Selection tool, and now click on the end that sticks over and hit delete. So I'm going to click on the Alt key, zoom out to look. So what we're going to do is actually click on these three, hold the Shift key down, then three things that are three little spirals I made. Now I click on the Reflect tool right here, and click on Alt and grab from the center here. What I'm going to do is actually make it vertical, and this is going to be 90 degrees, and then I can choose copy. So, okay, what I'm going to do is now just turn off my image, my tracing image here. So that should finish it. Now what I'm going to do is actually just save that, and save as. So save as. And click on save in your computer. Now I need to save it as, I'm going to save it as fancy heart. And this should, I just get the backspace key because it needs to be changed as an Illustrator file. So click on save here. It saves it to, I need to click on the OK because if it don't, then it's not going to save. I'm going to go back to Canvas, like here. I've already done this once, but it should say start assignment, but I've already done this once. So click on new attempt, upload a file, and then shoes. I'm going to click on my fancy heart. That should be on downloads. Then I click on open here and submit assignment. And then you'll have some confetti falling that shows that you've actually turned it in. And that'll finish this. Thanks for watching.